Don't you hate when you get triggered over something super small in your relationship and you really let it kind of take over and create a way bigger problem than it needed to? And I mean, it can happen, like, for example, when you've got two partners and one is notoriously late and the other one's really punctual. That can cause all kinds of drama. And we'll use that as an example today to talk about how to shift yourself away from that trigger. I'm Stacy Rocklein, and I help people create deep, meaningful connections in their relationships through healthy communication. Okay, so example in my own relationship, Noel is a really freaking late person. He's always been that way ever since I've known him, and I was raised to like that you're late if you're on time kind of thing. So I am punctual and I am prompt, but I am with somebody and we go places together and we're usually late. This used to be a massive problem for me, and it's a problem that I hear across relationships. And it's not like it's going to create a divorce or anything, but it does, when you're trying to get somewhere and one person's really like on time and waiting and the other person's taking a long time, it does create tension. And it can actually, it can snowball a little bit. And I want to talk about this in a values-based way, okay? When I think about promptness, I think about being considerate of the person that I've promised to meet or when I've promised to show up, right? I view it as being considerate, right? That's not how Noel sees it. He's not thinking he's being an inconsiderate person. We have two different lenses we're looking through when that happens. But a lot of times when you get triggered, you're triggered because you might be triggered because of fear. Okay, fear does trigger people. If somebody's temper is starting to rise and you have a massive fear of that, you're going to have a trigger based on that. That's your fear response to what's happening. But sometimes we get triggered because somebody is bumping up against what we value. If you've ever been irritated because you've seen people cut in front of someone else in a store, or you've seen someone litter, or cut someone else off in traffic, it might trigger you because you value people being respectful of each other and people being considerate of each other. So the value is actually a very good thing. The value helps you guide your own behaviors in a positive way that is good for relationships. We don't want to get rid of the values. They're what trigger it, though. It's just what we do next with it, because we can just allow it to create frustration, irritation, anger. We can just decide we're going to get totally pissed off about it. Or we can figure out what else to do instead. So I don't want you to get hung up on feeling really bad that you got triggered, because it's just pointing out a value. What you can do, though, is in that moment, attach yourself to one of your other values that matters to you also. So you can acknowledge it. You're like, okay, hey, hi, I see you, value of consideration, value of respect. I appreciate that you help me guide my own behavior. However, in this moment, I want to lean on my value of forgiveness, for example, or my value of being carefree and light and able to let go of things, my value of harmony, my value of connection. What is the thing that is going to be the value that in that moment makes you feel the best inside and is the best for your relationship in that moment? It's a very simple shift, but the tricky part is first catching yourself, because you can come out in the morning to a sink load of dishes of people that left them and didn't consider other people. Didn't consider that someone was going to have to come along and do that. Didn't consider how challenging it was going to be to make coffee with a sink full of dishes. And you can just let that run away from you and start the energy of your day. So you got to catch it first, right? As fast as you can. Catch it, and you don't have to think of yourself as an angry, grouchy person. You can just go, oh, okay, this is just pointing out a value I have, and I want to keep that value because it guides my life. However, in this moment, I'm shifting directions. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to lean on whatever value is important to me. And maybe that is forgiveness and the ability to let go. That's something that I value a lot, is to be able to not hold a grudge, have forgiveness, be able to quickly move myself away from right? I value that so much. I value triggering or managing my triggers as quickly as possible so much. And here's my chance to practice that. So that's the one I'm going to lean into. If it's forgiveness, I really want to be a quickly forgiving person. Maybe that's the one I lean into. So you want to think about how you can use your values to work for you, to work for your relationship, and not against you. And that is simply noticing as soon as you get irritated by something. If it's bumping up against a value, acknowledge the value, but shift yourself toward the one that is going to help the most in your relationship. Okay, if you are interested in more things relationship, then you can come over and join my Facebook group. Trainings are in there, resources, a community of support, a place to ask questions, all kinds of good stuff. If you just want to, bring in more tools and strategies into your relationship so you can keep creating those deep and meaningful connections that are basically all we ever want in this world. We'd love to have you join us.